Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to day 3 here at Western University. This is London Football TV bringing you all the action from the OSFL Championship weekend from the U14 level on up through the U18 level. A great day of football ahead of us. We're about to take on the U16 AAA KJ Kenemy Cup between the Burlington Stampeders and the North Toronto Sentinels. And down on the sideline right now, we've got our man Darren Stevenson to kick us off.
Happy Sunday, Adam Melrose, and welcome back to Alumni Stadium here at Western University. It is Championship Sunday. It all culminates today. What a 2 weeks you and I have had. We started last weekend at York University doing the U10s, the U12s, and the U14As. Yesterday here at Western, AAA Championship Saturday. And what a day it was with championship victories for the Cumberland Panthers. They won the U16 AAA Championship. The Hamilton Junior Tiger Cats last night taking home the U18 AAA Championship. The Ontario Cup beating the Kingston Grenadiers. The Waterloo Warriors in their second season in AAA football. They took home a title yesterday as well. And the stage is now set for Sunday. And what a day we have ahead of us. You were mentioning there a minute ago that we start this thing off with the U16 AAA KJ Kenemy Cup. We will see the Burlington Stampeders and the North Toronto Sentinels, who were behind me a minute ago, but they have now moved over to the sideline to prepare for the anthem and get ready for this showdown. Coming up later today, the Quinte Skyhawks will be here, the Huronia Stallions, and the Guelph Griffins, the Guelph Junior Griffins, roll into London for back-to-back championship games later on this afternoon. The whole weekend will close with the U14 Griffins taking on the U14 AAA Griffins will take on the Quinte Skyhawks. Then it wraps up tonight with the U18 AA Championship, which will feature the Guelph Junior Griffins as well as the Huronia Stallions. You can maybe hear them behind me now, the North Toronto Sentinels getting ready for this U16 AAA Cup. Lots of energy here on a Sunday morning. Our thanks to the OSFL for your continued support of not only 519 Sports, but as well as London Football TV. Here's how it works. London Football TV will have these live streams all day long. Make sure to like and subscribe to their YouTube channel in order to make sure that you catch all of the streams. And here on 519 Sports, we will have the highlights and interviews. A lot of it is powered by Area 51 Sports. We'd like to thank them as well for supporting OSFL Championship Weekend. It's been an absolute pleasure to be here at London. The organizing committee has done a wonderful job having everything ready here for us here at Western for this U18, U16 Championship Weekend. It's almost time for the national anthem, Adam, so I'm going to send it back up to you as we get ready for kickoff here between Burlington and the North Toronto Sentinels. Adam?
We'll take a quick break here for the national anthem, and then we'll kick this one off. Thank you, Darren. Well, good morning and welcome to London Football TV. We've got quite a matchup for you this morning in the U16 KJ Kenemy AAA Burlington at the North Toronto Sentinels, formerly the Vaughan Rebels, and a cool little rebrand here, and both of these teams ready to rock and roll. Had a good chance to chat with both the coaches for these teams and Coach Darren Daw of the Burlington Stampeders, letting us know top offensive players to look out for would be number 4 in Jason Bolello Aaron Abelman, number 5, Cole Fisher, number 0, Caleb St. Germain, number 7, and Malachi Blake in number 1. On the defense for Burlington, we're going to watch out for Malik Otoyebi, number 99, Sam Cerrone, number 9, Marco Rubino, number 24, Tanit Lander, number 27, and number 3, Sam DeLuca. Hats off to the kicker as well, and Adrian Kalinowski of the Burlington Stampeders. Having a look at the Sentinels side of things, a great big long list here. We'll be watching for wide receiver number 1, Nick Riva, running back number 25, Adrian Andros, running back Daniel Theodore, wide receiver Brady McGarry, and quarterback Liam Johnston. Johnston coming into this game with a 55% completion rating, 997 yards and 8 touchdowns. Also looking out for number 13, Adrian Bothwell is the quarterback for the triple option, and he's number 13. On the D45, Alex Irons with 38 tackles, 1 INT, and 3-time player of the week. DB number 44, Iffy and Wawelugo with 32 tackles, 1 sack, 3 TFLs, and got an 85-yard pick 6 against Kingston last week. 1 forced fumble and 2 fumble recoveries. There is a giant list of stats here, but hats off to the rest of the defense as well, too. Let's hit you with a couple more while the captains are getting going here. Lawrence Ingbenehi, 30 tackles, 1 sack, 5 TFLs, 1 forced fumble, 1 fumble recovery, and his brother is Williams Ingbenehi, 2026 D tackle commit for Western as well. So tons of talent on both sides of the ball here in the KJ Kenemy U16 AAA matchup, and we're about ready to get things rolling. Well, both teams have gotten through the captain's meeting with the head referee. If you've never been involved in one of those, it's essentially the, obviously we're figuring out who's getting the ball and what end, but then it's more about that white hat referee having, a chat with the boys about, make sure to keep the rest of your team accountable here. Everybody chill. Let's just do our play in between the whistles and have a good, clean game. So looks like we're about to get a couple of pre-game sellies going on here, and we will be off to the races as Coach Dylan Sherville is joining us here on the call and getting things started. While you're getting ready to get this game rolling, a couple of things to pay attention to as well today. That QR code in the top left-hand corner will be drawn today. That's the 50-50 mega raffle for Football Ontario, currently sitting at $73,250. You could be taking half of that home. So hit that QR code, jump online, and grab yourself a chance to maybe win a nice little chunk of cash this weekend. Also, please head on over. You're already on London Football TV watching this stream. We appreciate that. Give us a little like and subscribe, and then head right on over to 519 Sports Online. Make sure you subscribe to them and hit the notifications because they have been posting great content all weekend long in game recaps. Some of them are fantastic to watch. Unless you want to come watch 3 hours, you can condense that down into 10 minutes. And there's great post-game interviews and highlights as well. So great tandem of media companies bringing you some beautiful football action here from Western University. Dylan Sherville, welcome on, sir. We appreciate you jumping in. And I think at some point we should have Coach Caranci. I think Coach Bruno DeSantos joining us for the 11:30 game as well. So quite a day of football we got ahead of us again, Dylan.
Yeah, absolutely. Love being here. Love being able to be part of the broadcast. So thank you so much. Yeah, it's going to be a great day of football today. We have a lot of games. I believe there's 6 games on this, or 5 games on the slate today. Yeah. So yeah, excited to see all these kids play football in the game that we all love. You
had me thinking for a second there because last weekend in York, we did do 6 on Sunday, and I was like, wait a minute. My heart stopped for a second. I'm like, I thought we just had 5 today, brother. But we are good. Before we get ready for this kickoff here, we do at 11:30 have the Dan Grossi U16AA between Clarington and the Woodstock Wolverines, their first time at the dance, and it's also their first year with the U16 program. But right now we're talking U16 AAA Burlington and the North Toronto Sentinels, and this kick is a little squibby on the ground. Will be picked up around the 23-yard line here, Dylan, and this man is making a couple guys miss. He's only got one guy to beat here. Now, a couple more guys in trail is finally going to go down here around the 42-yard line, and North Toronto with quite the start here, sir.
Yeah, Malachi Blake with a great return there. Really, it's great that he was able to see the lane that because when a lot of returners get the squib kick, right? They think if the ball hits the ground, I just got to get upfield and make the most of what I've got. But he was able to read his blocks, end up busting it out towards the near sideline here on our screen, and has Burlington in great field position. We talked a lot yesterday about how you want to start in the purple, which is that big Western Mustangs logo in the middle, and they're starting in plus territory. So it's going to be interesting to see how they start.
Burlington in the white and reds today with the red ponies on the helmets. Go 3x2 to get started here, and QB drops back, puts this one in the air. Tip drill almost picked off, but nice ball here thrown by number 5 in Aaron Abelman. Scherves.
Yeah, good ball. Unfortunately, defense jumped offside. That's the one penalty that always irks me as a coach is, that's the one thing you can control is your movement. And all you got to do is either look at the ball or look at the person across from you. So to go offside, obviously not a great start for the North Toronto defense. But, when it comes to the tip drill, that's why DBs do it every day, right?
That's true. It's very true. Well, and both of these teams having a 2-hour or less travel time this morning, unless they came up last night. I would assume most of them drove in this morning. So, get the rust off. You got to, as a couple of players here in the box earlier were saying, you got to get hit a couple of times before you wake up. As Abelman evades a little bit of danger in the backfield, just going to keep this one, looking to get the sideline, and is going to go out of bounds here after taking a little bit of a pop at around the 25-yard line.
I guess that's the shot that gets you excited.
There you go. Now Abelman's awake now, brother.
That's the wake-up shot there. So great awareness to understand that, because that was looking like it was coming from his backside there. So great awareness in the pocket and understanding, hey, I don't have a lot of time here. That was a great pass rush by that near side Toronto defensive end. So I would expect him to have a really good day if that's already how he's starting.
Yeah, Abelman looking under control right now. Sends a couple guys in motion as he hands this one off to the back, who's going to run the middle and pick up about a 5-yard gain here, maybe. Yeah, 5.
Just traditional gap scheme football, and it was a great run by number 7, Caleb St. Germain. Great gap scheme run, and what we mean by gap scheme is that he's running to a specific gap on the offensive line. So if we have all the offensive linemen lined up here, we got 5 of them. The gap scheme means we want to run into a specific gap. So we're going to have the guard pull, kick out an end, have everyone down, block down, and so that there's a lane for him to run through.
Beautiful.
Shout out London Football TV for the telestrator.
Yeah, I ought to give you guys some toys for this weekend. So Abelman actually in the pistol here, looking at like a short yardage package, just hammers this one forward and picks up a first down for the Stamps.
I love formations like this, especially if you haven't shown them all year. It's a championship game.
Yeah.
We talked a lot about it yesterday. The culmination of all these team seasons, their hard work in getting here. You got to leave it all out on the table. There's no cards that you're leaving up your sleeves. Show them everything. If you've had it installed for 3 weeks, they're going to go right back to it.
Here's that look, and the Sentinels doing a decent job adjusting to it, but let's just keep this one again. We're going to run the middle. Touchdown, Burlington Stampeders. Aaron Abelman's going about, 15 yards to the house, putting 6 on the board here. Dylan, what are you seeing?
I loved it because it's an unbalanced formation from the offense, meaning that they don't actually have an offensive tackle on that side of the football. So when you look at this formation, ultimately you're going to have the guard, the center, who's going to end up snapping the ball, guard, tackle, and then you have these up backs here. You have your quarterback who's taking the ball, and I believe that there was a wing here. So you have all this condensed formation, but it's unbalanced. So there's extra individuals and extra players on that play side, which ultimately is why they scored.
We've got a timeout during the PAT.
Maybe someone wasn't on the field. That's probably my best guess. But, yeah, love the scheme from Burlington coming out here. They come out in that traditional look, pistol, throw the ball, do all that good stuff. And then they come out in this, unbalanced truck or rhino or heavy package and end up hitting it for a 6. So definitely exciting to see, and we'll have to see how North Toronto's offense responds. They played a great game last weekend in Kingston, 2 weeks ago, I believe now.
Yep.
Against Kingston. So let's see how they've grown from that game.
Yeah, really nice kick here. So that's going to be 7 on the board for the Burlington Stampeders. And what's interesting with this look is I had a chat with a lot of the head coaches this week, and one of the questions was, what's the stick to what got us here versus how many wrinkles are we going to throw in? Curious here because I didn't see a ton of film on Burlington. Obviously, I saw them playing London and everything, but interesting to see, was that on tape? Was that a wrinkle situation, or have they been going to that a whole lot? If you know and you're a Burlington fan, throw that in the chat. We'd love to know further. And I got a ton of content here for you too, Dylan, on the that from coach of the North Sentinels. We got stats for this thing, so we can go over some of that as well too. So there was a little Google form that went out to all the head coaches earlier this week, and some of them got really, really into it. So,
and I love the jersey and coloring style of this North Toronto Sentinels team.
Mm-hmm.
I love the navy on the red. For a fellow who's partially colorblind, it can be a little difficult at times, but ultimately I love it. So it's really awesome to see this program as the
ball goes through the hands of the returner here, and it looks like number 5 for the Sentinels, who's going to turn and burn and pick up. Oh, he's down the sideline here, Dylan, and just gets saved, but oh boy, he might have been gone. Number 5 for the Sentinels, that's going to be Daniel Theodore. And now we get to see what these boys are going to dial up on offense.
Yeah, that's one heck of a return. It's making the best out of a bad situation, that's for sure. You underplay the ball, goes over your head and into the end zone. A lot of returners would think, just let me get out of the end zone. Just let me get out of the end zone. No, he's looking for the other end zone.
Right.
So, yeah, great to see.
I'm going to get yelled at by coach if I don't turn around and run my butt off right now.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Make the most out of a bad situation, that's for sure.
Well, Sentinels coming out in a little 2x2 here, Shervs.
Yeah, that split back formation in the backfield here definitely can create some unique scenarios for the defense.
All right.
Drops back to pass, completed short over to the far sideline.
Going to pick up about 8.5 yards on that one. That's a nice little completion for our quarterback here.
I believe that's Liam Johnston commanding this offense here.
Yeah, so Liam,
Sentinels.
I was talking about this earlier. Johnston coming into this game, 55% completion for 997 with 8 touchdowns. So no slouch, Mr. Johnson.
Yeah, especially for U16 football, it's where you start to see a lot of the passing game start to develop, right? Some U14 teams, as we've seen yesterday, have a very, well constructed passing game, but that's not always the case. So U16 is where a lot of the playbook opens up with these passing opportunities as we look to see a handoff over to the right-hand side here for a short gain. Looks like it's going to be 3rd and short for the Sentinels upcoming.
I believe that may have been Brady McGarry, is the red on blues being all sorts of fun. But same story there, McGarry coming into this game. So check that. Running back Adrian Andros, 597 yards, 4 rushing TDs in the regular season here.
Oh, yeah. It looks like their own truck formation here from what we see.
Well, if you can do it, we can do it too, brother.
That's right.
Yeah. 3rd and 1. Nice big push. And looks like they're going to spot this for a fresh set of downs here, Dylan. So Sentinels coming out with some positive yardage here.
And that's what you love to see, especially when it's the first drive of the game, right? You want to see, hey, did our adjustments come to fruition, right? Did they, all this prep that we've done throughout the week and getting ready for this game, is it working, or do we have to make really quick adjustments on the fly? When you go, 3 and out on your first drive, it feels like all the momentum's kind of sucked out of your team.
Yeah, we didn't drive all the way from Vaughan to go 3 and out on this first drive. So.
Exactly.
Split back look again here for the Sentinels. And barking out a bit of orders here. We got pass across the middle, and this one's picked up by number 27 of the Burlington Stampeders, who's going to turn and book and get it back to basically just behind the line of scrimmage, and the Stamps go back to work. Number 27 for Burlington. Hats off, Mr. Tannen Lander, who was on our list of top defensive players to watch as per Coach Darren Daw here, but decent route, but man, he just jumps this.
And that's a really athletic play and an athletic catch, right? It looked like they were playing cover 3 there, so he has the hook to curl area, but read the quarterback's eyes and was able to track and follow them and make the play.
Well, and the Stamps going back to work here then, Shervs.
Yeah, going to be interesting to see what kind of offensive philosophy they come out in. Is it that traditional, passing attack, or are we going to end up finding that they're going to go back to that heavy package?
Abelman, I thought we had an offside on the bottom side of your screen here, but we definitely do not. hands it off to the running back. He's going to pick up about 2 or 3 yards on the carry.
That was number 4, Jason Bilello, with the rushing attempt. I believe it came from the slot back position. So interesting to see that little wrinkle. I believe Burlington's coming out where they came out last play with 2 tight ends. So
right
now they're spreading it out a little bit here.
It's more of a traditional 3-by-2 coming over, depending on how you want to read it, 2-by-3.
Yeah, and it's different. It's difficult for a defense to be able to prep for a bunch of different formations, right? That's a bunch of different alignments and looks that you have to.
Abelman's got a guy sitting in the hole in number 4, Bilello again, going back to that well, who squeaks off of a tackle, picks up a first down, and gets this one down to about the 20-21 yard line.
And we talk about when receivers catch the ball, we want them to get vertical, right? Yep. But there are times where you just can't, right? And this is one of those situations. Bilello catches the ball. Of course, you want to go vertical, but when the defender's committing so hard to coming across your body to tackle you, great opportunity to show your short speed quickness, some agility there, and be able to pick up a first down.
Well, and I think it was the Zet receiver came screaming across, and you just see it right at the end of the replay. He was downfield finding work, and that's when you got boys. So here's that big truck package again. And we're just going to snap this right to, is it Bilello again taking the direct snap, who's going to keep his feet moving here and get this one all the way up to about the 2 yard line, maybe the 3 here, Shervs. And the Stamps are knocking on the door.
Yeah, knocking on the door again with 5 minutes and 25 seconds left to play in this first quarter. It's funny, Coach Clancy and I referenced it a lot yesterday, and I'm going to say it again today. When we both played for Coach Marshall here at Western, and when there was a play that was working, he'd look at you right in the face and go, run it again.
Yeah.
And I would not be surprised to see Burlington come out in the same formation and run it again.
Well, as we take a quick little injury timeout here, the training staff have been fantastic all weekend, running on the field and looking after these boys. Each club's bringing their trainers as well, but the folks here have provided additional because there's all sorts of shenanigans going on in some of the games yesterday. But let's talk about the rest of the day. We appreciate you joining us here on London Football TV. You can join us at 11:30 for the Clarington and Woodstock game, 2 o'clock for Sarnia-Quinte, 4:30 for Guelph-Quinte, and the final game of the day, the U18AA at 7 o'clock between Huronia and Guelph. So whole host of on-air talent today. Again, Coach Sherville will have you for the next 2 games. Coach Bruno DeSando joining us. The coach, Ron Ferwerda, will be joining us back later today. He's got to leave the cave and come call some football and come back and join us later. And then Darren Stevenson joining us on air as well, too, who's been our sideline superstar for the last couple of days and last weekend in York. So all sorts of on-air talent today to take you through these games, and we appreciate you joining us. Please go follow and subscribe to 509 Sports online as well. And while you're at it, hit that QR code. We'll say this a few times during the broadcast. You could be taking home your half of $73,480. Not a bad payday on a Sunday when they draw that thing later today, I believe. We'll get you an official time. So right back to this big package here.
Yeah, it looks to be... Yeah. Oh, no, it's normal formation there.
Yep, we're going to direct snap this one to Bilello. No, it's number 3. That's going to be Sam DeLuca. Touchdown, Stampeders. 6 more on the board.
And they have him listed as a DB on the roster, but that looked like one heck of a play from a DB playing on the offensive side of the ball.
Yeah, Sam DeLuca also on our top defensive players as per Darren Daw. So giving a DB a chance to come. Maybe he's a final year kid, just giving him a chance to get a little tutty in the game, but kind of just walked in on that one. 6 more on the board for the Stamps.
And that looks to be like one of those wrinkles that we've talked about earlier, right, Adam, is where, teams will have guys that are graduating to the next level of their program who've, shown an excellent level of commitment and pride towards the program. You got to try and reward those kids when you can.
Yeah. Well, and in some cases, too, I mean, we don't have it listed here for kids moving on to the OUA, but in a lot of cases, like there's some kids, unless they go play the CJFL as a U18 senior, this could be the last time you put the pads on. It's not like soccer where you could be playing it till you can't walk anymore, or hockey where, there's no Sunday morning, pickup football that you can go to in your late 70s, right, in pads.
Don't sleep on the Power 5 football league.
Well, yeah, I know. Little 37U insanity down south at the border, too. Yeah, I'm with you.
37U up here in Canada. We're doing all right.
Yeah, if you play 37U, put that in the chat. I need to come cover one of your games.
Shout out Spencer Bowman for the Sarnia Imperials.
Yeah. That's a reference Mr. Stevenson can appreciate.
Love it.
Here we go. Deep kick here to the top side of your screen. We're going to get this one in the air around the 17-yard line, keep our feet moving, and go down here around the 34. And Riva on that return, and the Sentinels go back to work here.
Interesting that they kicked it away from the dangerous returner that had returned it last time. Riva, I believe, I'm not sure if it's the same spelling or not, but former Western Mustang Nathan Riva was ton of talent on this same field. So North Toronto looking to come out on offense. They did have a pretty successful time moving the ball, just an unfortunate interception on their last possession.
Well, we'll see what they dial up. Not usually a whole lot of change-ups in the first half, right? And
no, not typically, no.
so same thing, 2-by-2, the split. Send a couple guys in motion here, and we'll have a look to the backfield. We're going to hit our man, who's going to get up to the edge and pick up about a 6-yard on that, Shervs, and that's going to be number 5. Excuse me, Daniel Theodore.
Yeah, he had the big return to start their previous drive, and they're getting him the ball early and often. He looks to be one of those players where you're just trying to get him the ball in space, whether it's as a runner, whether it's as a receiver, whether it's as a returner. He looks to be one of those special kids that you want to get the ball.
Yeah, real shifty. You could see it in the hip movement shows that he could probably make a few guys fall on their face.
That's
right?
Yeah, me included.
Well, come out in a 3-by-1 here for the Sentinels. Johnston sending 3 guys in motion, has a look across the middle, lets this one go, and I think was looking for Theodore again.
Very much similar, and this is going to be quite a big take, but very similar to what the Seattle Seahawks did with Jackson Smith and Jigba, right? There's a guy who you want to get the ball. We're going to line him up all over the field. We're going to motion him anywhere on the field, and we're going to find opportunities for him to get the ball. Unfortunately, the pass was just slightly behind him, but again, goes to show they're trying to get him the ball early and often today. As they come back out in that split back look again.
Going for it on 3rd down. 2 guys going out in motion again. We're just going to hand this one off to the back to the left, and number 25 is going to pick up a first down here, Shervs, and gets it up to the 51. And number 25 going to be Michael Camilletti. No, check that. I'm sorry. Adrian Andros, wrong side.
I love that play design because what they did is they had Theodore in the backfield, and he ended up leaking towards the field or exiting the backfield towards the wide side of the field, which held a lot of the defenders in place. So when they went to go run the ball up the middle, a lot of those defenders were stagnant, right? They were somewhat flowing with where Theodore was going, so allowed them to get enough space to pick up the first down.
Well, let's leak a guy out to make this a 4-by-1. Johnston kind of looks to the field, sends this one to the boundary, and just goes through. We're going to get a PI call here. And Andros, who we were just talking about here, Shervs, too, is a grade 9 player, 597 yards, 4 TDs in this regular season, and a reception touchdown as well. 6.36 yards per carry in the last 4 games. So impressive. Who was our target on that pass?
I didn't quite get a number. My apologies.
Oh, good.
But yeah, definitely off or pass interference penalty, picks up a new set of downs for this North Toronto side.
Yeah, that one was, you got to turn around and try and make it look like you're making a play on the.
That's right.
on the ball.
However, I was discussing with the best of the best, the London Football Officials Association yesterday.
Of course.
And that turning back and looking for the ball is not part of the rule set.
Okay.
It's not the main thing that they're looking for. So really cool to get that piece of advice.
Johnston in trouble in the backfield, and he is brought down here by number 26 of the Stamps. Ooh-wee. Scott Malone putting a little sack on the stat sheet.
And you love to see it, right? You love to see that pressure paying off for Burlington there. Just a blitz off the edge, not enough blockers. We call that a +1 pressure, right? The defense is sending one more than the offense has for blocking. So big sack on the play, and it looks like the QB is a little banged up.
Not where you want to be in the first quarter, for sure.
Yeah, 2nd down, and let's call it Mississauga. Definitely a little, definitely behind the sticks, so to speak.
Oh, we should have had that dialed up on the scoreboard. Let's see what Simon comes up with.
Figured both these teams are close enough to the GTA.
Yeah. There we go. Country Mile's good. We would have also accepted the 401.
That's right. Does that mean if it's short, we can call it the 407? It's the Express.
Ooh, I like it.
Right?
The expensive one.
That's right.
All right. So, who we subbing in?
Looks like starting quarterback's okay from that previous little bang up there.
Took a hit like a champ. Okay. Well, let's just keep it in front of you, too. There we go.
There you go. My apologies, everyone.
Okay, so back to work. Johnson's got a 4. There you go. Johnson back to work in a 4x1. Has a look, just hands this one off, but he's in trouble in the backfield. That's going to be, I believe, number 16 shutting that one down for the Stamps, and that'll be Jerezi Moore and company in the backfield here, Sheriffs.
And one thing I want to point out, it is a great defensive play, but I want to point out number 9, Samuel Cerrone. Great act of sportsmanship, right? You end up there's a big loss on the play, pick him up, right? You pick up the opposing player, tap on the back, say, hey, play another down, right?
Yeah.
Great to see the act of sportsmanship already from this Burlington defense. It looks like there's a holding call that was declined by the Burlington Stampeders, so they will force North Toronto to be third in about, 10, 20, 30. So 3rd and 30 here coming up for the North Toronto Sentinels as they're going to be looking to punt.
Well, 2:14 here in this first quarter action at Western University. And the Sentinels punting crew coming out with a man on side here, Shervs, and 2 guys back to return this for Burlington.
Yeah, I love this. I love whenever there's someone on side because especially if you don't have a traditional kicker punter.
Smart move
right?
here.
Great play by the DB there who's covering that onside individual. But if you don't have a traditional kicker punter, right, and you're not going to play the field position game, why not try to get yourself another possession?
And really, the onside guy almost got there, but smart move by the Stamps player to just catch that, drop to his knees, and let's just play ball. Don't be a hero.
That's right. That's right. As Bill Belichick would always say, do your job.
Yeah.
Right? Your job is to catch the football and fall down.
Yeah, and that's somebody's been repping their special teams drill properly. Yeah, we need the fast guys at the back to run the ball. If you're up front and you catch it, just shut her down.
That's right.
Here we go. 3-by-1 for the Stampeders. As we're going to hand this one off to our back, who's going to find a little hole. A flag flies here. And is this maybe going to be a hold, Shervs?
You would think that it could be a hold, maybe a face mask, something along those lines.
Well, you see, if you watch the replay, right, you'll watch his head bobble, so maybe somebody got him in the yeah.
When there's that many hands around a back, sometimes things slip. As Burlington gets a fresh set of downs after the infraction.
Yeah, so that'll move them up to. Looks like they're going to put that ball at the 45, and Burlington in enemy territory here, Shervs, and we'll keep rolling.
Yeah, sticking with that traditional offensive look there.
Abelman with the single back in the backfield. We'll send these boys, and Abelman having a look boundary side. And is this picked up by the Sentinels? It is. And we're going to go back to work for the boys in blue and red here, sir. I think it was number 12 on the reception. And if it was Carson McKinnon.
Great interception, being able to jump that route. What I also didn't realize before this drive is that quarterback's a lefty. Right, so traditionally, you're going to see the quarterback turn right and look to make those quick, short throws. But lefty quarterback going to stress the opposite side of the defense. Great job by the defenders on the North Toronto Sentinel side to get themselves another possession. Right, going down 3 scores in the first quarter, not super ideal. But you get some more momentum, get your offense back on the field after they've made some adjustments, and we'll see what works for them.
Yeah, get a little shot in the arm of adrenaline. Let's go back to work here, boys.
That's right. Different look it's a slightly different look for the North Toronto Sentinels now.
Yeah, Johnson split backs with sort of this 11 King look. Or is there a tight end on the other side? And this one's picked off And this man's carrying this back. We'll get you a number in a second. I think it's number 32. Brought down at the 20. Oh, boy, we're just trading INTs today. It is number 22, and that's going to be Burke Rashford on the INT.
Looked to be some miscommunication there. Looked to be as if the quarterback was expecting the receiver to run a hook route, and he just kept running a go. So, unfortunately, some miscommunication. All that momentum you just got from the interception of your own, and you give it right back.
Yeah, and Burlington now deep in the territory at the 20-yard line with a fresh set of downs. We've seen them pretty successful in this area already today, Mr. Shurville, so we'll see what the OC's got dialed up.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. I'm going back to that unbalanced look and seeing if they can respond.
Direct snapping to your athletes.
That's right.
And we got a real late substitution.
Substitutions here, so timeout from the defense. Make sure they get the right bodies on the field.
Oh, we're missing. Oh, okay, three in, three out. Okay, just
personnel
wrong personnel for this heavy package.
Which, again, is a game all on its own, right? You force a team to make some adjustments, and now there's no timeouts for the rest of the half.
Mm-hmm. Well, North Toronto coming into this game currently on a 4-game winning streak. Probably haven't been backed up like this in a hot minute, so we'll see how they deal with this. But Burlington goes up here. It's a lot of points to catch up here in the first half here, Sheriffs.
As someone who's been up 3 scores in the first quarter before,
yeah.
I will tell you, the game almost unironically slows down.
Yeah.
Right. You end up getting up 3 scores. You can't get too cute though. Whatever's gotten you there is what you got to continue to do to be able to end up finishing the game.
Yeah. Well, and it's keeping the kids' composures as long as you can to say, hey, listen, like we still got to win this thing,
That's right.
and the momentum can shift real quick as the snap is up, and we're having to look across the middle. We're dumping this one in the end zone, looking for number 8 who dives out, lays out for that one, trying to find Avery Palaguan, and incomplete here.
Yeah, again, another wrinkle from this truck or heavy package look that they have. Keeps the defense honest, right? Especially when you know that there could be a passing threat out of it.
Just so we don't get adjusted here, that should have been Paglinawan as the last name.
There we go.
Same story. If your grandma and grandpa watching right now and we're getting any last names wrong, you just throw that right in the chat and we'll be sure to adjust it. The phonetic roster was not provided.
We apologize in advance. We're doing our best here.
As we're going to take this direct snap again, roll off of this one. And number 4, we got the edge here, Sheriffs. Touchdown, Burlington. Jason Bolello to the house for 6 more for Burlington.
And celebrating with the cameraman. You got to love it, right? You got to love it when the auxiliary staff is getting excited with you. So, great run, obviously, from this truck formation. He makes the second effort, breaks a tackle, and is able to find the seam on the backside of this formation. So, great run by Bolello. He's been doing that for, a little bit already today, showing off his speed and his agility. So, again, if it's not broke, don't fix it. But now Burlington finds himself up 3 scores with 24 seconds left in this first quarter.
And we'll get a little chip shot here from the punt or place kicker. And good snap, good hold. And number 31 burying that one. What? Okay. Sorry. And so the score, sorry, we're trying to get an update here. 21-0 for the Burlington Stampeders. 24 seconds left here in the first quarter. And were you making reference to was it the CD Lamb jersey?
There was some actions being portrayed on the
okay, I got you.
in the stands that were yeah.
Okay.
Great. Questionable conduct was the
Gotcha. Well, I mean, one of the interesting rules here at Western University is that the parents are not supposed to be leaning on the railing. And there's signs for that, but no one reads. So as you can see,
to be fair, they're also quite sparse. Like,
right.
I think there's maybe
one
still
there
up.
was
there used to be like 10 or 12 of them up
Yeah.
every 3 feet.
Well, let's get this deep kick down. It's gonna get caught in the air around the 12-yard line here. I believe this is Riva again, who's turning on the Jets, spins off of the first guys. He's dragging him, and he gets us up to about the 32-yard line, Sheriff. Speed demon here. Hopefully, I think if Riva could break one of these, he's gone.
Yeah, and you can just tell that he's fast.
Daniel Theodore, my bad.
Yeah, so you
my
can
bad.
just tell that Theodore is a fast human, right? His explosiveness, it looks like he's mad at the ground when he runs, which is great. The absolute explosiveness that he's getting off when he drives those feet into the ground. I love watching people like that run the football. It's amazing to see.
Well, Sentinels going back to work here. We've seen some moments of greatness from this offense. Maybe keeping it on the ground for a little while might be a good idea because the DBs came to play today, and we're picking balls all over the place. So split back again, 3 to the field, 1 to the boundaries. So it'll be interesting to see what this one-on-one matchup transpires to maybe later. Number 13 to the bottom side of your screen for the Sentinels is Adrian Bothwell-Castro.
Yeah, if they're going to leave him one-on-one, you got to try and test that matchup at some point. And it looks like the time count violation to get themselves a free timeout and free substitution, but put you behind the sticks.
Yeah, at some point, the Sentinels got to lock in, right? And if we're taking time counts this early, the boys got to pick themselves up off the ground here. It's like you're down 3 scores, but let's get it going here, boys. Okay, so same look. Obviously, they probably didn't change the play call a whole lot here. So we send 3 in motion. Johnston tosses this one across the middle, was looking for Theodore, incomplete, and a flag flies in the backfield here.
We shall see what the call is. Looks like it's either holding or maybe contacting the quarterback late. But again, looking to get the ball to Theodore again, right? That seems to be their guy, right? He's incredibly athletic, incredibly fast. I think mostly they took the time count because they don't have any timeouts left.
Okay, yes,
right. So if the substitution would have came in too late, you take the time count. You hate to lose the 5 yards because it puts you behind the sticks, but you can at least get that quote free substitution there.
Holding
goes from bad to worse.
When it rains, it pours here. Yeah. So that's gonna bring us up to second, and is it still first? No.
Yeah, first and about 25 here.
Yeah.
It's almost like in the Replacements, right? Keanu Reeves movie. I'm a big football guy. Of course, got to watch all the football movies. It's like quicksand, right?
Yeah.
The harder you try to fight out of it, the harder it digs in. So
Johnston looking to air this one out, rolls out to his left side, gets rid of this one, and that was dangerous. I thought Sam DeLuca, the Stampeders, was going to make a play on that.
I love the willingness to still make the risky throw from this quarterback, right? When a quarterback typically throws an interception or 2, they get down on themselves. They typically will just throw the shorter routes, try to get back into a rhythm. But no, this kid's looking to push the ball down the field. He's looking to get it to his receivers quick, or not quick, sorry. He's looking to get it to his receivers downfield, looking for his guys to make a play. It just unfortunately hasn't happened for them yet.
Yeah, well, as we flip ends here to head into the second quarter, I want to thank Rob Abelman. I'm assuming family member of Aaron Abelman, becoming a member here at London Football TV on YouTube. It's one of the best ways to support the channel, and we appreciate your membership. At the same time, head on over to our partner for the weekend, 519 Sports Online. There's some great recaps from all the games this weekend, highlights, interviews, all the good stuff. Please go like and subscribe to all their content as well. And Sentinels backed up here, 2nd and 25 here, Shervs.
Yeah, when you're looking at the call sheet, there's not very many calls that are for 2nd and 25.
Yeah.
So you got to kind of look at this as if I got 2 plays here, right? If you're down 21, obviously, it can't get much worse, right? But you still want to try and win this game. There's still a ton of time left. We only just started the second quarter, right? Think about it as you got 2 plays, right? Especially if you don't have a traditional kicker punter. You want to be able to try and pick up, let's say, 10 to 15 here, try to have some deep passing concepts. As
Johnson airs this one out, and oh boy, this one's picked again by number 24, who's got the sideline. Ooh, we might get a weird, no, they're not going to call that. Touchdown, Stampeders, number 24 in Marco Rubino.
I said it can't get from bad to worse. That's slightly worse. But again, still a ton of time in this game for North Toronto. I still like the fact that they're trying to risk it and throw down the field here. Johnson just needs to put a little bit more under this ball, right? Unfortunately, 2 DBs were covering his receiver there, so maybe someone else may have been open. But great opportunity for the DB to maximize the result. Right?
I thought we had a crackback. It was just this Sentinels kid lighting up a Stampeders player. So it's just like, y'all are going to score, but I'm hitting you on the way by.
That's right. And you love that attitude. Right? Yeah. That's you still got that hunger. You still got that passion, right? He's still in the game. Right, no one's given up yet, which is great to see from this North Toronto side, even though they are currently down 27-0 at the start of this second quarter here at Western University in London, Ontario.
And our kicker, number 31, is going to come out, Kalinowski, for a good convert, and that's going to make this one 28-0 with only 17 seconds down in the second quarter. If this keeps up, Mr. Shervo, we may get some run time here, which I believe still happens in a champ game, correct?
I believe so. If I'm coming out on offense, I'm just trying to set some sort of identity that respectfully isn't turning over the ball.
Right.
Right. Try to pick up a first down on this drive. Just try and build some momentum, right? Because at this point, we talked about the seesaw that the game of football is yesterday where, one team is putting all the pressure down on one side of the seesaw, and it feels like they're running downhill, which is what Burlington's been doing all this game so far. But, if you pick up a first down, a little bit of pressure comes off. You pick up another first down, a little bit of pressure comes off. You get a score, a lot more pressure comes off, right? You start to cut down the lead, right? And then the seesaw starts to balance itself out and potentially move in your favor. So we'll see how North Toronto wants to respond, and hopefully they find their offensive identity here on this drive.
Well, Marco Rubino, one of our defensive players to watch, as we mentioned pregame, as this deep kick goes back down, is caught at the 10, and here comes the Sentinels player who's going to break through here, Shervs, and is finally brought down just past the 50, but a beautiful return here.
Great return.
Well, number 25 of the Sentinels, so that's Adrian Andros playing a little bit of running back today for the Sentinels as well.
And that's when we talk about you want to start drives on the purple. North Toronto's starting to drive on the purple, right? I believe this is their best starting field position as of today, right? Other than the interception, I believe, and even then they were still on their side of the field. So do see a Stampeders player down. Hopefully they do end up being able to walk off onto their own power. But that's, again, some of the pressure comes off, right? You have a great return. You get some great field position, right? Let's establish the offensive identity, right? Let's continue to move forward, pick up a first down, maybe start with a regular set of sticks here.
Yeah, really healthy. As I was saying earlier that I still imagine if Theodore is able to break loose, that kid is gone. But a really nice return from Andros as well, too. So a couple of dogs back there who can get the work in. So can we maybe switch to a ground game with some of these speedsters? But, I mean, the pressure coming from the Stampeders D-line is impressive. And the linebacker play has been very good as well, too. So, okay, how do we get a matchup with a DB? Well, that's usually in a passing thing. But, maybe something outside here.
Yeah, especially with the athletes that they have. Theodore reminds me a lot of a fellow we watched yesterday in the U16AAA championship game, Tomiwa. Very shifty, very fast. As again, we see a different look here.
Yeah, under center, nice big pound in the rock up the middle from our man Andros. So didn't run out of gas after that kick return, and that's a healthy 6-yard pickup, maybe 7 actually.
That's great.
Yeah,
and again, that's the momentum, right? It's they're coming out in the double wing here. For those who have watched London Football TV for an extensive period of time, know that this is exactly what the U14 AAA London Junior Mustangs run. So very common offense found across the U.S., but typically not ran a lot in Canadian football, as we see that there's a big shot there.
Johnson trying to find an edge. A flag flies, and number 17 for the Stampeders comes flying in, and Charlie Thompson. So Sentinels will lose a few on this.
Looks like to be that they're going to be moving forward with the football there.
Unnecessary roughness, Burlington. So
and it also looks like there's been a quarterback change as well.
Oh, that was not Johnson.
No. I didn't quite catch a number there.
Yeah. Well,
Apologize for my slight colorblindness there.
yeah, it's all good. This is like here in London when the SCA Flames play and they have that dark red on black jerseys. And
Yes.
when we used to do the games here at Western at night, it was impossible.
Impossible.
Just like, what a run by the running back.
And it's not that we don't want to say the name.
Yeah, amen. Yeah. Under center again. Double wing here. I like it. Yeah, it's 13 taking the snaps now. Get this one back to Andros, who squeaks off of that one. But 13 taking the snaps now is going to be Adrian Bothwell-Castro getting involved. So maybe just giving Johnston a little bit of a break based on the scoreboard here, Shervs.
I mean, when these are two drastically different styles of offenses that we've seen from the North Toronto side. So for them to be able to make this drastic of an adjustment goes to speak about their coaching staff.
Yeah,
right?
they've got Liam Johnson listed here, and then right beside him, number 13, Adrian Bothwell is the quarterback for their triple option. So obviously he's stepping in right now, taking the snaps. So he's going to hand this one back off to Andros again. No, he's going to just pitch this out to, I believe, Theodore, who's going to get enough for a first down, move the chains.
And it's so different to see this in 3-down football.
Yeah.
12 players on the field, 3-down football, because you have to be so cognizant of being able to pick up 4 to 5 yards instead of 3, right? They call it the 3 yards in a cloud of dust. No, not in Canadian football. It's 4 to 5 yards in a pile of pebbles, right, that you get on the turf. So interesting to see that this offense is working really well for North Toronto.
Yeah, a little bit of a change up. No, we're just going to pull this one from Andros. We'll pitch it out again. We got Theodore, and we're going to pick up about a single yard.
Great discipline play from the DB, though. The pitch on that needs to not be a floater, but be more direct, which is hard to ask a kid to do, especially at this age, and especially if they're right-handed. That left hand is not their dominant hand, so they're kind of just flying by the seat of their pants when they pitch that ball out there. But ultimately, right, if you're going to pitch that ball back, you want to gain more yards from the pitch. So,
right, like it's a push.
Yeah, it's more pushing the ball outside. And maybe we take the slide there and live to see another down with a 2nd and 7 rather than a 2nd and 10.
Yeah, well, Bothwell-Castro under center again. 2nd and 10 here for the Sentinels. Head in the right direction, in the right end. Going to hand this one off, and we're going to, I believe, give that to number 2 in Tyler Paul.
I love that play design, especially when every time that the quarterback typically has turned this drive, he's opened up to the side that the ball's going to. So when he opens up in that kind of reverse pivot to toss the ball, the handoff back to the other side can really confuse the defense. Unfortunately, the blocking just wasn't there.
So 3rd and 10 for the Sentinels, obviously going for this as they're backed up right now, down 28 points.
This is where you maybe try to draw them offside, get a more manageable 3rd down.
Bothwell just going to put this one over the middle, but it's not
It was
there.
Oh.
And that'll be a turnover on down. So Stampeders going back to work here from the 28-yard line in their end.
The concept was there. The space was there. The ball just unfortunately not in the right spot. But you love what we saw from that North Toronto drive there. They moved the ball consistently. They were able to get the ball to their playmakers in space. I wouldn't be surprised to see them come back out in that. Obviously, you want to spread the ball and show that traditional passing game, but that just hasn't been working for you today.
Right. Well, and, we moved the ball really nicely here. So I think we come back to that, and you've backed up the Stampeders with a much longer field.
Yeah, this has been their worst starting field position of the day so far.
Yeah.
So we'll see if this offense can drive the field or whether they've just been benefiting off of good field position.
Yeah, good point. Well, they weren't benefiting from any INTs in that last drive, so I appreciate the Sentinels keeping it on the ground as we go back to a 2 to the field, 3 to the boundary here for the Stampeders. And Abelman dropping back here, takes a hit and was looking for 0, and is this picked off? It is by number 12 of the Sentinels. They're just going to go back to work, and that's Carson McKinnon on the pick. But is there a roughing the passer? Is that what this flag is in the backfield?
I'm not quite sure.
Well, we're going to get the call here. One of the refs is signaling first down Stampeders, roughing the passer. First down.
Yeah, roughing the so
Okay,
the call is
so
roughing the I mean,
not an INT. We're just going to move this one up, and the Stampeders maintain possession.
we do like to protect players at this age level, right? As well as all age levels, realistically. But a lot of the old school coaches in us will be like, "That's a great hit. That's a great play."
Well, got to protect those quarterbacks. They can murder each other in the freaking trenches, though. So
Correct. Yeah.
it's all good.
The trenches aren't quite as glamorous, right? So, it's fine.
Well, here we go. So we'll move this up. We're going to play from the 43-yard line, and the Stampeders maintain possession. Well, Stamps going back to this direct snap. Oh, we're going to drop this one on the deck. Bolello's going to pick it up, but he's going to be taken down in the backfield. And the Stampeders will lose around 6. Should bring up 2nd and 16.
Foot bobble on the ground. They're going back to that traditional offensive look, getting out of that heavy package, so to speak. And we'll see North Toronto come back out in their traditional defensive look as well. Looks to be 3 in, 3 out. And let's see how this Burlington offense responds to being behind the sticks here.
Yeah, well, I mean, just a bad snap on the last play, but we've got Abelman back taking the snaps. Bolello goes out to slot. A couple guys in motion here as Abelman has a look to the boundary, but he's in trouble in the backfield. Finds Bolello. Bolello's going to make one pivot and go, and Bolello's got 2 guys to beat. 1 guy in trail, the 20, the 10. Touchdown, Bolello. Burlington Stamps with 1 more on the board.
And we talked about it, where this individual, Bolello, he's able to make so many people miss, especially on one of their first drives of the game where, he's so agile. He's got this shiftiness about his game where he's able to stop on a dime, leave you change, and he's able to do that here, right? Catch the ball behind him, makes one defender miss, and then just turns on the Jets.
Yeah, absolutely. Just launches to the end zone.
That's very impressive speed for a taller wide receiver at this level, right? So to have that home run threat as a receiver and who has reliable hands, very nice to have in the offense.
Well, PAT pending here, but this one should be 35-0 shortly. Bargaining madness on this PAT attempt from number 31. And Adrian Kalinowski. Ooh.
Kick is up.
The hold got fixed, and we've got a 35-0 ball game here at Western University, Mr. Sherville. And how does runtime doesn't kick in until the second half, right? Do they still, or is it as soon as you hit 35?
I think it's soon.
Second half.
I think it's the second half.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been a while since I've seen this early, so I just wanted to double check the.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough situation to be in, right? You come here, you're prepared for a championship game. You think the game plan's going to work. You have your pros and cons, and you got everything drawn up, and it's just not gone to plan for Toronto today.
Right. Well, let's talk about some of the games while they get reset for this kickoff here. After this one, we've got the Clarington Knights taking on the Woodstock Wolverines at 11:30 in U16AA Dan Grossi Cup action, followed by the U18AA Dan Grossi game, Sarnia at Quinte Skyhawks. And Burlington getting set to bury this one deep.
I think they're just making sure everyone's set and ready to go on the official side of things.
Count them up. Deep kick again to the bottom left.
Returner moving his way up the field after a great return last time. Makes a man miss, running towards the sideline, and is pushed out of bounds.
Right to our camera guy. All right, there you go.
Hey, best seat in the house.
Yeah, that's hats off to cameraman Lawson getting all the sideline shots today and evading. There we got a little nod from him. Evading all the danger. I think it was it Nathan yesterday that just absolutely ate it from in one of the post game interviews, and the camera broke in half. Yeah. but all for the shot. All for the shot. So
yeah, it's all for the content, all for the kids.
yeah.
You know?
All sorts of destruction going on around the Kirkley building yesterday. So
That's right.
without going into too much detail. So Sentinels going back to work here, Sherv. 6:23, clock's winding down. And
they come back out in that traditional offensive look for Canadian football. They're going away from that double wing, but
like
they got a new
overload on
little
the,
bunch here towards the field, which is interesting to look at.
Yeah, as quarterback Johnston back in the mix, finds his man, nice little connection, and we're probably going to pick up a couple here.
I believe that's number 25 on the reception.
So
We've called his name
Andros.
quite a bit today.
Yeah, nice little play design, couple of yards.
Yeah, just get the quarterback back into a rhythm.
Yeah.
Right? Of any sort of, rhythm and confidence, and start building the drive again. You did it last drive, right? With your traditional option
with
attack.
Bothwell Castro in a quarterback as well too. So maybe just that's we've got packages with certain quarterbacks for certain looks. So Johnston, 3 men to the top side of the screen for him in the boundary. Snap is up, and it's good. And Johnston having a look across the middle and actually makes a nice little connection here right at center field and connects with number 13 in Adrian Bothwell Castro. So taking the snaps, catching the balls, and getting first downs.
Yeah, between him and Theodore, they got some pieces on this team. So good to see that there's a completion there. Thrown into double coverage. Again, another risky type pass, but paid off for him there.
Yeah, and certainly they got to the dance. They're here today. So, when earlier in my comment of, I haven't seen 35-0 this quickly in a while, like, this is a good team. It's just Burlington is just a little, the seesaw, effect is there. So let's hand this one off to Andros, and let's power this one to the edge, and we've got it up to about the 44-yard line, and a healthy run for a first down.
Yeah, picking up that first down into Burlington territory there. They are moving the ball, which is great to see, right? You want to have that offensive progression here from North Toronto. Hopefully, they're able to put some points up on the board before the end of the first half there.
Yeah, it was. Sorry, cameraman Lawson getting great shots of all the creatives that are just on their phones on the sideline. So here come the Sentinels, quote unquote. Sentinels coming back to work here with a fresh set of downs here, Shervs, and I like the momentum that we're seeing right now. They've calmed down a little bit.
Absolutely, and they're able to get the ball to their playmakers.
Johnston looking for a man. He's got this deep shot available, but he's in trouble and is brought down by number 16. A flag is going to fly, and what do we think that's going to be for, Mr. Sherville?
I'm thinking horse collar here, right? We got this really amazing cheat sheet that was provided from our London Football Officials Association of the Football Canada's official signals.
Yeah.
So this looks to be, from what he's grabbing here, is a horse collar.
Well, and what's always been explained to me, too, and because sometimes the parents don't understand or people watching, is you've got a grabbing the halo, but there also has to be a change in direction.
Correct.
Right? Which in this case there absolutely was. So pretty textbook. And Mr. Jerezzi's going to take a 15-yarder on that one. And the Sentinels move up, and we keep rolling. So we'll play now from the 39-yard line. And we're nearing the 3-minute warning.
Looks to be a little bit of indecision here from the
slow to
the
the line.
Here.
So still okay. I thought we were going to get that bunch look again, but we get it changed up. Johnston looking for, I think, Bothwell Castro again, but a little bit of a low throw here,
and
then takes a hit.
There's another flag there, late hit onto the quarterback there. And a great thing that I was always taught by an amazing ref that we have here in London, Shane Rodriguez, is that if it's going to be roughing the passer, right? If the quarterback ball is thrown, right, and you go to push him, why don't you just tackle him?
Right.
Oh, because the ball was gone. So then why are you pushing him?
Right.
Right. It's that continuum of thought of, hey, why are you pushing him? Okay, well it's because he didn't. Well, it's because he threw the ball. Well, why? Okay, then why are you pushing him?
Yeah.
well, why didn't you tackle him? Because he threw the ball. Okay, well, then why push him? So, but it looked like a little bit of a second effort there. Maybe the defender wasn't sure if he still had the ball or not. So can't fault the defender there.
You keep asking the player that question, and you could just smell the wood burning while they're trying to come up with a lie.
That's right. The hamster's working on double time there in the wheel.
Under center here, I formation, as Johnston is going to roll out and hit it right back to his man. Little screen setup here. He's got Andros. Nice connection. Andros is off to the races. Touchdown Sentinels, number 25, Adrian Andros.
North Toronto gets one on the board before the end of the first half. This is great progress for them offensively so far. They come out in a formation that they haven't shown yet so far this game, and run a great screen. Sensational blocking from the big fellas, right, to get in the way, and then Andros does the rest of the work there by getting into the end zone.
Oh, yeah. I mean, and I think it's number 61 with the hair hanging out the back of his bucket, just putting the work in.
Oh, sorry, we're getting a correction here. The last one was a hit below the knees when the quarterback was in the act of passing. So my apologies there. Wrong depiction of that penalty call.
Are you a level 1 or level 2?
I'm level 1.
Okay.
I'm level 1, so that's my fault. My bad.
Well,
right.
so we're just going for 2 here, looking for more points as Johnston just puts this one in the air, looking for that corner route to number 1, pulls that one in. Nice connection here with Nick Riva, and that'll put 2 on the board to make it 35-8.
And again, great drive.
Oh, yeah.
Right? You had the penalties that helped extend it, but ultimately, great scoring drive, right? And you love to see it on the sideline here. People congratulating the quarterback. That's one heck of a bounce back.
Yeah, and right down here on the sideline, the man in the green shoes is a huge reason that touchdown happened, because he was out finding work and opening up opportunities for Andros to hit the end zone.
He was also the one on that interception that just cleaned house on the Burlington defender. So, great extra effort from that young man there. Hopefully we can get a number.
I think it's 11.
I think so as well.
Yeah, and if it is, that's Abel Hernandez.
That extra effort is going to allow him to go very far in his football career. Coaches notice that.
Yeah. If we could see it from up here, that's yeah. Well, the Sentinels kickoff crew ready to send this one deep, unless I doubt we'd see an onside attempt here.
Why not?
Oh, yeah, so it is, Squibby, and we're just going to fall on it. So Burlington should be playing here from the 54.
You got to try, right? Because imagine, you get that and you potentially score. It's 35-16. That's 35 potentially 16 with the score on the extra 2 points. But you can that's a manageable comeback.
Yeah, well, right? And you're hoping with that little squib kick that it's going to hit the deck and bounce up and somebody gets it. I forget which team it was yesterday, but we used to call it the Mustang ball, but it's essentially they're in the huddle and they're waiting for the whistle from the referee, and then they all just turn around and just slam it up the middle.
I think that was Essex.
Was it Essex that ran that yesterday?
Essex. Yeah, it was great.
I love it. You got to talk to the refs pregame about it, but so 35-8 as the Stampeders go back to work here, and we're going to hand this one off to number 7. Number 7 finds a hole to the top side of your screen, and that'll be Caleb St. Germain on the carry with about a 6-yard gain.
And it looks like Burlington took that drive a little too personally here. So they're coming out firing hot on offense, gap scheme, run the football downhill, regain that momentum to bring up second down in about 4 or 5 here.
Abelman still got his man St. Germain in the backfield with him. Couple guys in the boundary right now. As Abelman just gives us one right back to St. Germain, who makes that first man miss, keeps his feet moving, picks up a first down, and gets it up to about the 34-yard line.
And again, after that play, great show of sportsmanship, even from North Toronto there, picking up some offensive linemen down in the backfield there. But what a run by St. Germain. And this is what we love with gap scheme running, right, is you end up having the offensive line just manhandling someone and moving them against their will. I used this quote yesterday from Russ Grimm, a Hall of Fame offensive guard with the then Washington and redacted team name. Best part about playing offensive line is moving someone from point A to point B against their will And the Stampeders are doing that right now.
Yeah, and this is the all Saint Germain series right now as he carries this one again for a nice little 3-yard pickup, 2nd and 7.
Toronto played that really well in terms of the gap discipline and their linebackers scraping over top. So good to see that they stopped the part of the bleeding there, but now they go back into this heavy package.
Yeah, direct snap to Bolello. Bolello finds a nice little hole, keeps his feet moving. He's still going. First down, Stampeders.
And they're looking to punch one in before the end of the half here to take back that momentum, especially, when they allowed up a scoring drive. They want to continue to put some points on the board.
Just over a minute here on the clock at Western University as we're going to see a direct snap right to Bolello again. And who's going to keep this behind that wall of white and red and picks up a couple more. 2nd down.
Very patriotic jerseys those Burlington Stampeders have in the red and white. So, great run by Bolello. He's kind of been the Energizer Bunny of this offense, whether he's playing receiver, whether he's playing quarterback in this heavy formation, whether he's been all over the place today, but looking like he's getting a little bit of a break right now as he comes off the field. Someone's got to get over there, give him some water.
Yeah. Abelman's back in the mixer. No, it's number 3 who's going to take the snap down. He's hustling up. Another first down for the Stamps, and that's going to be Sam DeLuca taking those snaps now. Again, listed as a top defensive player of the game. Also in the mix, picking up yardage, Mr. Sherville.
Yeah, I don't know if they're calling me Coach Sherville for much longer. You might as well call me Coach Cliche. Your best ability is your availability. The more you can do is the more you can help a team, right? So for those watching, hey, if your coach asks you to play a position that you don't normally play or to put you in a position where you may not have played before, just try and say yes. They trust you to be able to do it.
Low snap. DeLuca picks this one up off the deck, keeps his feet moving, and it's another touchdown for the Burlington Stampeders. Number 3, Sam DeLuca to the house.
What a run. The second effort from these Burlington athletes has been outstanding today. It's not going to be arm tackles that brings these kids down as he breaks one tackle, looks to break 2 tackles, and then finds his way into that purple end zone for another score right before the end of the first half for this Burlington Stampeders team.
Well, 6 more on the board here for Sam DeLuca. I mean, we've got horses in that stable for these Stampeders, and really nice inside run. But when you got like the blocking from that look is just that's a hard one to get through.
Well, yeah, football. We're a family-friendly show here. This, football is a game of individuals. It's a team game, but it's made up of individual chess pieces, right? And when you overload the side of a formation like that, where you have more individual pieces on that side, it's gonna make it more difficult for the defense to match because you can always motion, or you can always have them post snap coming over to the other side. It creates a lot of defensive indecision, which ultimately forces players to think. And when players are thinking, they're not doing.
Right, and definitely when you got the numbers advantage to one side, the math usually wins, followed by gravity.
And then you have phenomenal athletes carrying the ball too, right? Like we can't discount those fellas either.
Well, 38 seconds left in this first half. U16 AAA KJ Kenemy Memorial Cup. And I can tell you right now, if KJ was whipping around here in the stadium, he'd be super proud of the way all these boys have been playing this weekend, for sure. So, deep kick to the bottom side of your screen. And we've got it caught in the air, and we've got some decent blocking, and we're going to go out of bounds here around the 40.
And again, still, there's no give up here from this North Toronto side. They're still coming with energy. They're still playing hard, right? Still fighting for extra yardage, not opted to just walk out of bounds, but doing some damage on the way. This is 1st and 10 for this North Toronto offense with 31 seconds left in the half. We'll see how they want to respond. It looks like Johnston is back out there to lead the offense.
Yep, big number 7 back at the helm here to finish off the half.
Would love to see some sort of trick play here.
Yeah,
Right?
I mean, you know they got it in the book. So as we get set up, we're back under center. Johnston rolling out in trouble, gets rid of it. Look, they're looking for that little hit to Andros again, and that gets sniffed out by number 9 and Samuel Cerrone, and he'll be appreciative of that highlight after the game. 27 seconds left.
Great read by the defensive players there, right? That's the play that burned them on the last drive for the score. They know what to prep for. They know the similar look. Just ended up coming off the ball and making a play. Great job for that young man.
Sentinels break the huddle. Still Johnston in the mix. We're going to see the same look. And backing him up, I think it's Andros, and I'm trying to get the other number.
Yeah, I am as well. It's, again, slightly difficult with just the color scheme, but
Didn't like it. We're going to back off of it. Split back, staying in for protection. We got our, almost a nice little connection here at about the 45-yard line. Was looking for number 1 in Nick Riva. So incomplete.
3rd and 10 upcoming. 23 seconds left. Do you think that's enough time? Burlington's got 1 timeout.
Yeah, well, I mean, and Burlington could literally just come out and say we're going to knee it out, and they're going to go to half.
They could. I mean, that's the more traditional thing that most teams would do, but we shall see what happens.
Unless they're trying to.
Why not run the extra? Why not run the extra?
Yeah, I mean, you got players who, like we talked about earlier, this could be their last football game ever. So if you give them a chance to. This is U16. My bad.
Correct.
Sorry. I'm still in last night's U18 mindset.
Yeah, those games were phenomenal.
Well, I mean, maybe there's a kid here going to soccer or something. Doubtful.
You never know.
Very.
We got the FIFA World Cup still on our minds, I think.
Yeah.
Coach Caranci went through the same thing yesterday. It's okay.
Yeah. Which I hope he's okay, because I thought we were going to see him this morning for a handful of games, but we'll maybe see if he rolls in at some point. We should have Coach Bruno DeSanto joining us here for the next game. Apparently, Bruno DeSanto had a flag football game or a touch football game this morning.
He did. Yeah, so
which I didn't know he was playing that still. I might have to go catch one of those games.
They're highly competitive games. Like, some folks, who maybe didn't have that experience playing high school football or even university football, they come out. That's their Super Bowl.
Right.
Like it gets intense out there.
Okay, I believe you. I remember getting asked to go to one of those years ago when they used to still have the soccer dome down on Veterans Memorial, and put the games for like at midnight. I'm like, A, I don't want to play touch football. B, I don't want to play touch football at midnight. But hey,
probably C, you probably had young kids in the house where you're waking up in the middle of the night.
Yeah, Daddy's got to go to touch football at midnight. But anyways, I digress on that one. So Sentinels getting reset here. 23 seconds. 3rd and 10. From the 40.
We see a quads look here. 4 receivers to the field. Haven't seen that yet from them today.
Johnston, 3 guys in motion. Looking to that field side. Lets this one go and finds his man to number 17. That'll be enough for a first down. We got to get north, sir. But nice little reception here for number 17 in Brady McGarry.
I think it was more looking to get out of bounds, maybe push it up the sideline. Yeah. They have no more timeouts, right? So there's very little ways that they can stop the football for a longer period of time. But, yeah, you'd love to see a receiver more get north-south there.
Yeah, well, really, the Stampeder guy gave him a hand and just pushed him out of bounds. So 11 seconds, fresh set of downs.
Yeah, go back to that.
Yeah, just go back to the quads. And
air it out.
Yeah. We see the Woodstock Wolverines traveling to the rugby field right now to get warmed up. There are 11:30 game today in the U16AA. As Johnston puts 4 guys in the field again and is in trouble, gets out of it, a flag flies. And we'll see what the
Generally, it'd probably be looking like a hold here.
Yeah, if it came from the white hat ref. Which, fun fact, if you've, normally Who is the referee? Let me ask you this, Shervs, as a level 1 referee here in London. Who should be calling the holding?
So it depends. That's a great. So it's a great question, right? I think all coaches would want to know. Definitely, if it's something that's happening towards the backfield, it would be the white hat there, I believe. And feel free for any of the refs in the chat to let me know. If it's running towards the sideline, it would be one of the sideline officials,
Right.
whether it's the line judge or the my level 1 brain is struggling to compete right now.
Line judge, down judge?
Correct. Depending on the side.
Yep.
And also, because refs have different zones that they're looking at on the field.
Correct.
So just because you as a fan see something, you're like, oh, that should be a penalty. And it's like, that might not be that ref's area. They might not even be looking at that part right now.
Yeah.
Right now, when there's all 6 flags that happen when someone's looking at the ball, they're ball searching, right? They're ball hogging. So each ref.
Maybe an offside. They're not going to give that to him. Johnson in trouble in the backfield. Pressure coming strong from the Stampeders, and that should roll this down. And that will be the half. So our score going into the half here between the North Toronto Sentinels and the Burlington Stampeders, 42-8 at halftime, and we'll be back in about 12 minutes.
You are greatness, yes, you really are. But why aren't you working with the best? Area 51 Sports isn't just a brand, it's a mission. Built for athletes who train like beasts and think like outliers. Built for schools and youth organizations that truly want to be the best. Engineered for performance. Designed to intimidate. Trusted by those who take their game seriously. These old school guys seem more focused on profiting off the game rather than supporting it. We've become the best at providing customers with the highest quality products and experience. When you wear Area 51, you're not just showing up, you're taking over. We do this for the athlete, for the game. At Area 51 Sports, we value people over profits. 10 toes down, boots on the ground, speaking to real people like you. Join the movement at www.area51sports.ca. You are greatness, yes, you really are. But why aren't you working with the best? Area 51 Sports isn't just a brand, it's a mission. Built for athletes who train like beasts and think like outliers. Built for schools and youth organizations that truly want to be the best. Engineered for performance. Designed to intimidate. Trusted by those who take their game seriously. These old school guys seem more focused on profiting off the game rather than supporting it. We've become the best at providing customers with the highest quality products and experience. When you wear Area 51, you're not just showing up, you're taking over. We do this for the athlete, for the game. At Area 51 Sports, we value people over profits. 10 toes down, boots on the ground, speaking to real people like you. Join the movement at www.area51sports.ca.
Welcome back to the second half action. Welcome back to the second half action here on London Football TV of this U16 AAA KJ Kenemy Cup here at Western University in London, Ontario, between the Burlington Stampeders and the North Toronto Sentinels. My name is Coach Dylan Sherville. We're joined by one of the absolute astounding members of the London Football Officials Association, Shane Rodriguez. Shane, how are you doing today?
Great. How are you, Dylan?
Doing great. Excited to get the second half underway. I'm not sure if you saw any of the first half, but Burlington came out hot.
Yeah, absolutely. I was over there with the evaluators watching the game. Burlington came out firing on all cylinders. There's a score there by the Sentinels at the end of the second quarter. Let's see what the second half brings. Some halftime adjustments. I always joke to coaches when the first quarter is a little lopsided, and the second quarter, the second half, the team that was down comes out firing on all cylinders. I say that must have been a heck of a halftime speech he gave.
Yeah.
No points or little points in the first half, and now we got a ball game again, right? So
that's right, absolutely, and this could be a ball game indeed with North Toronto receiving the second half kickoff. Shane, I'll pose the same question to you that was asked to me in the first half. So when it comes to holding from the offensive line, who typically calls that?
Yeah, so when you have 6 officials on the field, assuming it's a run play, the most likely officials calling that could be calling a hold would be the 2 officials in the middle of the field as well as the sideline officials. If it's a run left, you probably won't see a hold from the official on the right side of the field, but on the left side of the field, you absolutely might. And then on screen plays is when you'll probably see the deep guys get involved or change of possessions like punts, kickoffs as well. But traditionally, it would be the sideline officials as well as the guys in the middle or girls.
Great, and that's a big kickoff here from the Stampeders. Fielded cleanly as he looks to return the ball from about his own 15-yard line. Finds a lane, able to break a tackle, busted over towards the near sideline, breaks another tackle, pushing it towards the 50, and pushed out of bounds at about the 55-yard line, definitely down the middle of the field for North Toronto, and that's number 25. We've called his name quite a few times today, and that is Andros.
The jersey numbers on the Sentinels are a little challenging to read from up
Correct.
here. In the first half, I wasn't really looking for them, but now that I'm trying to see the numbers, it's like I need to squint a little bit.
That's right,
Or put on my glasses, one of the two.
Hey, I don't know what kind of prescription I would need to be able to see those, but it would definitely be difficult to read, that's for sure. North Toronto coming out with Johnson at the quarterback here in the shotgun. With that split back look that we saw multiple times in the first half. 4 receivers all the way towards the field, so we saw them have some success with that earlier in the game. Flag flies as there's a deep pass, and it's completed. Unfortunately, I do think it may be coming back.
Yeah, it looked like a hold there by the right tackle, I believe.
And that's the hand tap on the top of the head there. And I believe that's a procedure call.
I believe it's too many players. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Yep, they have 13 players on the field.
And you can't do that.
No,
every coach would spend as many hours as it takes to figure out how to put a 13th player on the field. Unfortunately, you can't do that.
Remember, I was doing a game a couple years ago, and it was after a touchdown on the convert. The defense had 13 players. We flagged it. And so they redid the convert because you can take the yards on the kickoff, and they didn't send a player off for the second attempt of the convert. So they got too many players in back-to-back plays. And, once you get that flag, we might want to send a player off.
Yeah. So we'll see how they want to adjust here. Little quick swing pass out to Theodore, who is one heck of an athlete, looking to make a man miss, but unfortunately is wrapped up by a herd of Stampeders they come through.
Is that what you call a bunch of Stampeders?
I have no idea, but they have horses on their helmets, so I figured that might be applicable. But yeah, when it comes to officiating, Shane, I talked about it a little bit, my level 1 brain, but you're much more experienced than I am when it comes to officiating. Talk a little bit about the different areas, or let's call them zones, that officials are typically looking at, because everyone just thinks the officials are looking at everything that a fan sees, but it's a little bit different.
Yeah, absolutely. It changes depending on how many officials are on the field. depending on the level of football. This weekend, there's 6 officials for every game. So when you have that many, that's where it steps up to what we call, we don't have zones anymore. Pre-snap and just after the snap, we have players. So you'll notice like the deep official, for example, when he's on the hash marks, he has a group of wide receivers he's watching, whereas the deep official on the other side, if he's on the sideline, has a different group of players that he is in charge of watching.
And that pass was completed to Nick Riva for about a 5 to 6 yard gain, as it's now 3rd down and 11 for this North Toronto offense. I would assume that they're coming out here to run a play. They tried attempting a punt earlier this game. I would love to see something like a quick kick. The quarterback punt here would be pretty interesting to see, but they are looking to run an offensive play here, put some points on the board, and extend the drive. Johnston drops back to snap, throws it over the middle, looks to complete it to Theodore, and that ball is incomplete. Turnover on downs for the North Toronto offense, as Burlington will take over in the purple on about the 54-yard line.
Yeah, it's not a Canadian Football Championship weekend if there's not a quick kick, a return kick, a couple rouge being scored. It's all what makes our game unique up here.
Absolutely. And if you are enjoying the game, make sure to follow and subscribe to the London Football TV channel, 519 Sports online as well. Make sure to also scan that QR code in the top left corner to get your half of $73,930 with a $10 entry potentially. So lots of money to be had there, and the other half goes to support the winning club.
Absolutely, yeah. The money goes back to whatever club you select. So either way, your money goes to good use. And if you're the lucky one, Dylan, what would you do with half of $73,000?
I have 2 young kids at home with a 3rd on the way. Probably a lot of it would go towards their future education. Yeah, that would be what I would do personally.
Absolutely.
It doesn't sound as glamorous, right? But ultimately, at the end of the day, you got to be thinking about the kids and their future. Much like many of these kids are thinking about their futures in football, in playing at the next level here. Some of these kids going up to U18 football next year. Some of them staying at the U16 level. But this is traditionally where you find the most competitive amount of football in, I would dare say, the country.
Yeah, absolutely. The high school age is where a lot of kids are introduced to football for the first time. They play it in grade 9 because their buddies, friends, cousin told them to convince them to play, and they fell in love, and now they're coming out to play in the OSFL the next year.
Or a grade 9 kid shows up who's 6'5" in the hallways, and the coach just says, "You're coming with me, pal."
Yep. And then they say that, no, I play volleyball.
Hey, there's sports for everyone here, but that was a quick completion over to the near sideline here, as Burlington now has a 3rd down and 3. One thing I will point out, Malachi Blake had a great block on the sideline there in open space there against that North Toronto defender, as Burlington comes out in that truck look here as they look to run it towards the near sideline, and he has to bounce it out up the sideline. 1st down and more. Coming out from number 4, Jason Bolello, who we've said his name a ton of times today, has been that, I've said it in the first half, that Energizer Bunny for this offense here. He's the main cog in that machine.
There's always one guy, right? When you hand the ball to them, good things happen. Usually tend to happen, right? And that seems to be number 4 for the Stampeders today.
Absolutely. The quarterback comes back into the huddle here, and that is Abelman there. Number 5 checking into the game, as we have Blake in the backfield as the lone back. 3 receivers set off towards the boundary. Number 85, and that is the near wide receiver, Bronson Vulich. As there's some pressure, and North Toronto gets home. We'll try to grab a number here for the sack. Big men got to eat. Unfortunately, can't quite get a number there.
Yeah, the big sack there.
It's nice when you can get pressure with your front 4, right? As a defensive coordinator, it's nice when, you don't have to add any additional players to your pressure, right? As Burlington looks to come out in a double tight end set here, 2 wide receivers to each side. I believe it looks like that. Yeah, 2 tight ends on the field here as they motion in. Abelman back to pass, takes a shot, drops back, finds Bolello as he has open space towards the far sideline, looking to make a man miss, breaks the tackle, he's on the 10, fighting still forward, pushing his legs, breaks some more tackles. Wow, what a second effort from Bolello. Touchdown, Stampeders. Jason Bolello with a phenomenal second effort. The second, the third, the fourth, the fifth effort, getting himself into the end zone. Good things happen when you move your feet, Shane.
Yeah, absolutely. I thought for sure he was going to be stopped at the 10. Then, okay, maybe the 5. Okay, maybe the 2. Maybe the 1. No, he's going to score a touchdown on that play.
Phenomenal effort there from the young man. And we've said his name many times today, and Burlington's going to keep on feeding him the ball, as it looks to be 48-8 right now for this Burlington Stampeders team, pending the extra point now with 6 minutes and 13 seconds left in this third quarter of the U16 AAA KJ Kenemy Cup here at Western Ontario, or Western University here in London, Ontario. Convert is successful now, bringing the score 49-8, looking like this third quarter here.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see what if Toronto can, or the Sentinels can get something going on offense for this drive. The score might not be the way they want it to, but putting a few successful drives together, even towards the end of a game, is something that you always like to see.
Absolutely, right. And they came out with multiple looks on offense, whether it was an I formation, the gun split. They even showed up in the double wing earlier in the first half. So it's not through lack of creativity, that's for sure. Burlington has been very prepared so far on defense, taking advantage of all their turnovers that they've created so far. You know, it's a defensive masterclass here that the Burlington Stampeders are showing. But Toronto, you know, they have the athletes, right, when it comes to their players and that they've been able to get to the ball, right? Daniel Theodore has been a factor today. We've said his name quite a bit today. Adrian and Andres is a factor today as well. Adrian Bothwell Castro has played really well with the football in his hands. So it's not through lack of creativity or lack of playmakers. The execution just simply hasn't been there for North Toronto. As the returner looks to break a few tackles there, I believe that is Andros with the return.
Yeah, nice little return there. Caught it around the 10-yard line. Got 15 yards or 20 yards on the return, setting the Sentinels up in decent field position to take when their offense comes to take the field.
Yeah, and hopefully, you know, they're able to put together some sort of scoring drive. You know, you want to put more than one score up on the board in a championship game. They got here for a reason, right?
Absolutely.
They're on here yet today. But, you know, we'll see how they come out. We'll see if they let Johnston continue to air the ball out or if they're going to try and hand the ball off to Andros or get Theodore the ball in any sort of creative way here. As they come out with a gun split here, meaning one back on either side of the quarterback with H or a king look towards the field. Then they hand the ball off here for about a 4-yard gain. Pretty solid when you can pick up 4 to 5 yards on first down in Canadian football with the 3 downs, right? You don't have as many downs to play with, so to speak. When it comes to scheme and execution, you have to execute on first down.
Absolutely. Getting in half the distance you need in one play opens up the playbook for second down. You're not limited to something specific. Keeps the defense honest.
Exactly. We found that North Toronto was in a lot of those situations earlier this game where they were behind the sticks.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely. You never. Yeah, it's tough to obviously gain more yards than you necessarily want to, but it also just limits what you could possibly call. A deep pass here to the Western logo, and it looks like we have defensive pass interference called by the deep official. I am assuming.
Yeah, we shall see. We'll reference this handy signals cheat sheet provided by the London Football Officials Association, so we thank you for that, Shane. Allows us to try and stay on the same page as the officials that are on the field without having direct contact with them.
Assuming the officials on the field do the right signal.
Yes,
I only
correct.
say that because there was a mishap yesterday where I was confused what the penalty was, and it was signaled incorrectly. Anyway, so assuming it's signaled correctly, we should be on the same page.
Yeah, and that's one thing. If you're looking to get the best seat in the house when it comes to games, highly recommend looking at your local officials association. That's for sure. You get to be involved with the game. You get to help kids, and ultimately make this game happen. Because if there are no zebras, then the game's just simply not happening. As Johnson looks back down to pass, incomplete down the far sideline there. trying to get a number on the intended receiver, but there were 2 DBs there in the area for the Stampeders as it's coming up as 2nd down and 10 now for the North Toronto offense.
Yeah, absolutely. You mentioned becoming an official. There are, depending on what city you're in and what level of football they have, it's actually the local association that does the sticks for the CFL game if you're in Toronto, or the CFL game if you're in Hamilton, as well as the Western or your OUA team. It's usually the officials that do those sticks. So you don't necessarily always have to just be a referee on the field. We have a couple guys in our association that just time. There's a guy that times every Western game since I've been reffing, and you can set your clock to where he's going to be when Western plays.
As there's motion here, pre-snap from the North Toronto Sentinels, and Johnson overthrows his receiver coming down towards the ball. Interesting little motion there that they had Theodore running across the formation and that little fake pitch there. It looked like they may have had some room to actually run that pitch play there. That play side defensive end may have caused some issues for them, but ultimately we're coming up with 3rd down here for the North Toronto Sentinels in this KJ Kenemy Cup game as we come down to 2 minutes left in this 3rd quarter of the U16 AAA KJ Kenemy Cup game. There we go. As North Toronto looks to punt, and one thing I pointed out, Shane, is that they do have an onside member, and what that means is in Canadian football, traditionally, wherever the ball lands, there needs to be a 5-yard halo around it. That onside player does not have to give the 5-yard halo. However, this is fielded cleanly by number 1 as he looks to cut it down towards the field, but is captured by a few Sentinels. Not sure the plural term for what a group of Sentinels is called, but we'll call them Sentinels nonetheless as they wrap them up quickly for a short return, and the Burlington Stampeder offense will come out on the 30-yard line. And I will shout out a lot of these Burlington Stampeder offensive linemen. Got to give some love to the big fellas up front that are making this rushing attack happen. I believe I see a number 76, number 58 down there. That would be number 76 is Adam Arsenault. Number 58 is Sawyer Durafor. Daniel Bednarik maybe is out there just looking to confirm numbers. But this offensive line has been sensational today.
Yeah, absolutely. The running back or the ball carrier gets all the praise and his name in the paper, but it's the big man up front that paved the way for it to happen.
That's right. The first to be criticized, last to be rewarded was the common saying back when I played. When turf was AstroTurf here, so a long time ago. And I believe Owen Rogers is out there as well, if I saw number 62 correctly. Looks like we got some substitutions in the backfield for Burlington as well, as Daniel Wolf checks into the game, number 32 in at running back here. As we see Abelman come back out and look to command the offense here. Oh, sorry, looks like quarterback change as well. As he is taken down quickly, I believe that's Lincoln Maloney in at quarterback for the Stampeders as pressure gets home for, I believe, number 55 of the North Toronto Sentinels, Giovanni Chiodesm.
As we head to quarter time here, I'm going to be honest, Dylan, I can't say I am jealous that I never got a chance to play football or really walk on AstroTurf. From everything I've heard, it's not a pleasant experience. The turf we have here at Western and around our city and surrounding areas is a step up from AstroTurf.
That's an understatement. Right? Yeah, so back in the days of the early 2000s, right? This amazing facility was built in around 2001. So starting to show, it was great when it was first built. There's been many renovations done along the way that have allowed it to improve and allow us to host champ days like this, which is great. But that AstroTurf was something else. If you can imagine, essentially it's almost like that outdoor carpet that people would get, but underneath that there's no pad, it's just cement. So
it's football with football on carpet in your basement.
Correct. So you're not wearing cleats. You'd have to wear specific shoes to play. You basically wore running shoes.
Yeah.
Right. But it was different. That's for sure. But glad that we have the turf here, and it looks like Burlington is set up to punt for I believe the second time this game.
Yeah, and they don't have anyone on side, so just the punter who's always on side doesn't have to give the 5-yard halo, but can also get the ball before it's touched by the defense.
Big bouncing punt, I believe, by number 31 from the Stampeders. As the returner goes to the far sideline, breaks a few tackles, looking to move down the field and get some amazing field position for North Toronto. I believe that's Riva on the return, who ends up getting into plus territory. I believe that was a net of 6 yards. From punt for punt yardage minus return distance.
Yep.
6 yards. Hey, it is what it is. But great return by North Toronto. These kids are not giving up. They're playing hard. They're playing through the final whistle, which is all you can ask them to do. I personally, again, coach cliche here. I don't need you to be perfect. I just need a perfect effort. And
Absolutely.
there's some great effort coming out from these North Toronto kids, despite the score of the game.
Absolutely, and you can see the effort in the young men who care out there, right? And it's always nice to see. That was a good quote. I don't think I've heard you say that one, Dylan. I'm gonna have to write that one down.
Absolutely. Hey, when the game stands tall, there you go.
Absolutely.
Hey, it's not an original. There we go as Johnson looks back to pass number 54 in pursuit. Johnson gets the ball off, late hit on the quarterback. Unfortunately, incomplete there. And I referenced you earlier today, Shane.
Uh-oh.
No, it's a good thing. It's a good thing, I promise. So when you're talking about when defenders make late contact on the quarterback, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And they mentioned, hey, say, for example, they push him.
Yeah.
Okay, then why didn't they tackle him?
Yeah.
Well, because he didn't have the ball. Well, then why'd you push him?
Absolutely.
Right? So, yeah, explain that rationale for me.
So Dylan and I had a conversation yesterday off the air about this. There's kind of two ways of thinking about it. The push or the defender pursuing him, assuming it's straight on, not like that one where he was being chased. The push ensures that the ball's thrown and he doesn't double clutch it, make that guy miss. So I get it from the defenders. And again, effort. If they're not making an effort, he's going to go to the sideline and get an earful from the coach about giving up on the play, right? So, yeah, the push just ensures the ball is thrown. And what I'm looking for as an official is that push was, again, just make sure the ball was thrown and he didn't, for lack of a better term, level the quarterback after the ball was gone. Assuming, again, head contact's not made and all that good stuff.
Of course, and great run by Andros there to end up cutting it back here, but has ended up tackled by number 28 of the Burlington Stampeders, 28 and 37 there, 28 being Alex Baginski, and then 37 being Grayson Webb, both coming in to combine to make the tackle there to slow down one of the main rushers for this North Toronto offense, as it looks like there may have been an infraction on the play by the North Toronto Sentinels, as it looks like to be a holding call, as this will march them back about 10 yards after yards gained, I believe. Nope, they're putting it back from the
previous line of
scrimmage there. So, and talk about that, Shane, where after yards gained versus from the previous line of scrimmage.
Yeah, absolutely. So if it's 1st and 10 and there's a hold before the 10 yards has been gained, the only point of application is the previous line of scrimmage. But if the hold happens after they've reached the ball carrier has reached that first down picket, you can go back 10 from where the foul occurred. So if you have a 20-yard run on 1st and 10, the hold happens after 15 yards have been gained. You'll still end up netting 5 yards technically on the play, but then the ball goes back 10. There's a couple spots where fouls can be applied from. And that is one of the jobs of the officials, is to know that and give the teams the best choice.
Great completion over the middle from Johnston to Brady McGarry, as we get a replay on that. Wide open down the middle of the field there. And that's what helps when you can really spread out a defense like North Toronto has so far. They had 3 receivers down towards the field, where if you have that much space there, you can run a multitude of concepts, especially when they get that in there. They maybe get a flat route and then a go ball from that outside receiver. You cause a lot of confusion from the defensive secondary there. As we look to see, they have the split backs in the backfield here accompanying the quarterback as he drops back to pass, looking to throw deep, throws the ball high, looks to be just shy and incomplete for his receiver number 1, Nick Riva. We've said his name quite a bit today. He's been a weapon for this North Toronto team. Unfortunately, it just hasn't led to getting points on the board, and it looks to be a turnover for this North Toronto offense. But I liked a lot of what they did. It's just, again, it's little things, small execution errors, right, that have led to this, wide margin, right, where multiple interceptions in the first half led to quick scores for Burlington, and that's where we find ourselves right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Putting the defense on a short field definitely makes it challenging, as well as they might not have time to get as much rest as they would like, or that conversation with the coach about a little adjustment being made when you're as soon as you come off the field, you're heading back out.
Absolutely, we can confirm, and we get the different formation here actually from the boundary side of the formation for the Burlington Stampeders, as there is a stop on the play. I believe that was number 32 who was carrying the ball for the Burlington Stampeders, Daniel Wolf, who checked into the game last drive. But it was interesting to see because they had that tight end on the line of scrimmage, right? And then they had two receivers that were able to waggle up towards the line of scrimmage. Typically, you'll see that the most outside receiver is on the line of scrimmage, and then you'll have your two slot backs instead. So great adjustment from the Burlington Stampeders offense, showing different looks and different things that you have to prep for.
Yeah, the worst thing you want to do as a defender is have to think, right? It's easy to play defense when you don't have to think, and it's just, we've seen this a million times. You'll play faster and you'll just hit your keys that you need to. But when you change things up, the defender has to think a little bit more, and it can put them in a bind.
And great pressure from the North Toronto defense there to force the third down. I believe that was number 55 again, Giovanni Chiodosium, with the pressure. There's a multitude of other Sentinels there as well, but also always want to note great sportsmanship after the play. Right, they ended up sacking Maloney into the backfield, but you saw a lot of those defenders picking him up after the play, and I believe one of them was number 9, Arwan Williams, in on the tackle there. Looks to be an impressive-looking human physically. Looks to be very fast off of the ball. Surprised we haven't said his name more today with how much pressure he's been able to get early on, but yeah, good pressure from the North Toronto Sentinels defensive line there to make the most of this stop and forcing Burlington to punt.
Yeah, so they'll punt from the 10-yard line. Ball's up, kick to the 50, and that's where it's caught.
Return towards the near sideline here. This is Riva looking to break some tackles, ultimately getting pushed out at around the Burlington 35-yard line, 35 and going in with 4 minutes and 43 seconds left to go in this U16 AAA KJ Kenemy Cup game between the North Toronto Sentinels and the Burlington Stampeders. The Stampeders, as we mentioned earlier this game, in their red and whites, the white top, red pants. North Toronto in their let's call them the navy blue jerseys and the maroon or red numbers. Looking to put together another score before this game ends.
Yeah, you want to piece something together on this drive. Have some highlights from the game, not necessarily individual players, but team highlights, good things that happened. So when you're reviewing the film, you have good things to talk about.
Of course, and especially when you look at some of these teams, right? For some teams you call them a younger team or an older team.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right, where, North Toronto, I believe this is their first year in the league. I believe that they were named previously. They were in the league, but under a previous name and regime. So for them to make it to this U16 AAA championship game in their first year is still impressive, right?
Yeah.
They got here for a reason. The result, obviously, not what they were looking for today, but again, hats off to that organization for even getting here, right? I know that there was a lot of, even when we played them earlier this year, they were impressive at multiple levels of football. Their U12s were great. Their U18s were competitive against the defending two-time champions, the provincial champions that were unseated today. As the pass is completed to Riva. Riva's looking to move himself upfield and getting towards the end zone. Breaks a few tackles. Touchdown, Sentinels. I believe that was a new quarterback in the game as well for the North Toronto Sentinels. If we can potentially grab a number from that young fella. I believe that's number 7. That's Liam. Oh, sorry, no. Number 7 is Liam Johnston. There's definitely a different number there.
I think it was 1, it looks like. It's hard to tell.
One scored, that's for sure, I believe. But yeah, different quarterback in the game. Would love to grab a name there. Maybe David Hooper. That's the other quarterback that's listed on the roster here. So good job to get a score on the board, right? Gives you that moral victory. But as we were talking about, Shane, you may have an older team or a younger team. So if there's a younger team that they got here, as Hooper looking to drop back to pass, is tackled by a gang of Stampeders coming through, and that's led by number 29, Jackson Crowell, that ends up getting the tackle there as the 2-point conversion is thwarted.
Yeah, talking about teams that are going through change. I was the game that I was the referee on Friday night. It was a team where the head coach has been coaching there for 3 years, and every single year they went from um, they had different goals, and they're getting better and better each year. And so with the change in the North Toronto Sentinels this year, it was this game that they made it to, and hopefully next game they're building on the foundation and getting the people and the players and the volunteers and everything they need to become a successful franchise and organization in the future, right? So it's all about building blocks. First year expectations are different from second year expectations, and yeah, hopefully they can build on the success that they have had this year.
And that was David Hooper on the touchdown pass on the previous drive. Did confirm that by grabbing the number from the sideline. So thank you so much for that. But great pass from the young man, getting it over to the middle to his receiver. And again, receiver still using that second, third effort to put a score on the board, right, for this North Toronto team as they look to kick off to the Burlington Stampeders with 3 minutes and 2 seconds left in this U16 AAA game. Looks to be an onside kick again, and the ball's still bumbling around, picked up by the Stampeders. Oh, still, okay. Oh, whoa.
Oh my goodness.
Flags fly. Yeah, you can't do that. Traditional football.
What do you have to say, Adam?
Yeah.
My favorite part about all of that is the opposite side of our press box right now is all of the refs and the ref reviewers and everything, and that entire room on the other side just whoa. And then what I love is I hear all the refs are like, good flag, good flag, good flag. Like they're cheering for themselves. It's like the highlight of my morning so far. Sorry, I just wanted to jump in for a second, boys. You guys are killing it. I'll let you guys finish up.
Absolutely. So
thank you, Adam. Appreciate it.
On plays like that, right? Usually we tell our officials, when there's 2 minutes left in a game and the score is the game's all but over, let's just have an early whistle to keep the players safe, to avoid stuff like that. Yes, there is a flag on the field, but if there was an injury, the flag doesn't fix that. So let's just blow the whistle early. If anyone gets upset about it, I always say to the coach or the player, they're in an alternate world where I don't blow that whistle, you get your head taken off. And once I put it like that, they're usually like, yeah, you know what? Thank you. He was moving backwards. Let's just have an early whistle and keep the players safe out there.
Absolutely, and player safety is always super important, right? That's one thing as a coach that I really like to stress on is I don't want you coming to play a game if you're not mentally and physically ready to play that game.
Absolutely.
Right? So if you tell me I'm 80%, I'm 90%, okay, I can live with that. But if you're unsure about your own ability to play the game of football, it doesn't matter what position you play, how many times I give you the ball, you are going to be taking a seat.
Yeah.
Right? Because for a lot of these kids, they have so many more games ahead of them, right?
Yeah,
they have so much of more of a football career to play. Who am I as a youth football coach to try and make them risk that, right? Because at the end of the day, we want as many kids playing football as possible. It's the greatest team sport on the planet for a reason.
Absolutely. There's a reason why I officiate this game. It's because I love football, right? There's not too many times when I walk off a football field after a game and I say, man, I hate this sport. It's usually, regardless of what happens in the game, good, bad, or whatever, it's like, yeah, that was a good football game, seeing all these young boys and girls out there playing this game that I love so much is a good thing to see. And there's a reason why I spend my Sundays in the fall at LMFA in the morning, our minor association. Then I go home and watch NFL Red Zone for a couple hours, and it's because I love this game, and it is a great game that gives so much to these young athletes.
And I think we may have been yapping a little bit too much to see what penalty just occurred on the field, but it's first down and about Mississauga for Burlington here as the quarterback is wrapped up into the backfield there by a North Toronto defender. Flag flies again, and unfortunately, right, like we just talked about, player safety, right? You have him wrapped up in the backfield. There's no real reason to try and toss him around like that, right? Especially in the stage of the game that you're in. Let's get everyone healthy. Let's get everyone moving on there. If this game was tighter, right? If this game was closer, that flag probably doesn't fly, right? So, but again, with the stage of the game, with where we're at, especially with the time left in the game, respect the opponent, respect the game of football.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
So,
Respect the game is something that I say when I'm on the field, especially at halftime or before the game, talking to the captains. Let's respect the game. Like I said earlier, it gives you a chance to compete. It gives you a chance to do something that you can't do on the street legally, right? If
Yep,
you were to
that's
walk up
right.
beside, but go up to someone and tackle them on the road, you can't do that. But on a football field, that's one of the objects of the game is to do that, right? So it allows you to do things that normally you can't do. So respect the game. It gives so much. It builds young men and women leadership skills. Gives coaches an opportunity to give back to their community that helped become who they are. So respect the game is something that I always have to remind myself too when I'm out there.
as we see Maloney come off of the field, is aided by a few of his teammates there, as the last play of the game will be completed here. I will say, if you are interested in joining, helping out with any team, look for your local football association, right? If you want to coach, whether you have an athlete who wants to play, whether you want to be an official, just get involved with the game. Right, so looking like that's the championship moment for this Burlington Stampeders team as the head coach gets his traditional dunk, as the Burlington Stampeders are your U16 AAA KJ Kenemy Cup champions with a score of 49-14 over the North Toronto Sentinels. Great effort by the Stampeders. Continue to build, Sentinels, and we shall get producer Adam here on the horn to go through the awards.
Hey, I just want to thank Shane Rodriguez for jumping on here, man, of the London Football Officials Association. It's always nice when we can all work in tandem. We got the officials. We got 519 Sports. Everybody bringing you football this weekend. Guys, thanks for taking over for the second half here, Shane. That was awesome. Always great to have some new voices on the broadcast. We'll take a quick break while the handshakes go down, and we'll bring you all the trophy action and MVPs in the end zone. So thank you again for watching London Football TV, and we'll be back in a couple minutes with all the hardware being delivered in the end zone. All right, now we're going to head to the end zone right now. The OSFL official board members ready to hand out a little bit of hardware. Coach Glenn Mills, who was on a couple of broadcasts yesterday with the coach Ron Ferwerda, and number 10, Lawrence Igbenyehi, taking home the Defensive MVP Award for the North Toronto Sentinels. Congratulations, sir. And for the offensive MVP, we will be awarding this to number 4 of the Burlington Stampeders, Jason Bolello, who had himself one heck of a game today. And a big congrats going out to Jason and his family and his entire team. And now we'll call out the captains for the Burlington Stampeders to receive the banner for the KJ Kenemy Memorial Cup U16 AAA champions. Congratulations, Burlington. Everyone involved, from the volunteers to the coaches to the players. A team win here at Western University. And thanks for joining us today on London Football TV. We'll get the Sellies, and then we'll be back at 11:30 for the Dan Grossi U16AA between Clarington and Woodstock. And we're going to get an interview with Darren Stevenson here, down with, I believe, Jason Bolello as well.
Jason.
Well, and if we're all set here, I think we got Darren directing traffic right now. He's got our offensive MVP, Jason Bolello, ready to run him through a little bit of an interview. You got to get for those of you who don't see this, this is the pre-interview to the interview. And Darren, if you got me down there, take it away.
What a game for the U16 AAA Burlington Stampeders. Make some noise, boys. These are the U16 AAA KJ Kenemy Cup champions. This is Jason Bolello, just named MVP. Talk about this team, talk about these boys. Jay, what a game, what a win.
We worked hard all season. We had some upsets, but we came back. We won the KJ Cup finals. You know, you see this. Oh, it's not even up there anymore, but we
You scored 49.
Yeah, there you go, 49-14. That's how we do it at Burlington, and that's how we do it in football. We're just the dogs in football.
You had 4 touchdowns out there today. Obviously, credit to you, but you can't do it without the guys around you. Why was everything so effective, from your offense to the defense to the specials?
We just work hard every week. Come to practice, we work hard. We show them who the dogs are, and we just show up to play ball.
You can say dogs. That's absolutely fine. Talk about the pride that you feel in the journey. It's not easy to get to a championship weekend, and now you walk away as champions. What's the best part of being a Stampeder?
Having a family. We're all a family.
Hype him up, boys. That is Jason Bolello right here. First spin right here in Burlington. And the trophy, hoist it up, fellas.
Darren, be careful down there, sir. Those are some dogs on the field right now. Hey, one more time, a big congratulations to your U16 AAA KJ Kenemy Memorial Cup winners, the Burlington Stampeders, in a big win here at Western University. We're going to go to break, and we'll be back at 11:30 again, as I mentioned, for the Dan Grossi U16AA between the Clarington Knights and the Woodstock Wolverines.